please help us bring to the stage our next moderator, please.
So I was saying, we begin with the first, each finger we do twice, so we can do a trial of it. Maybe we can begin. The first one, the second one. Marambili, moja marambili. We can start. Oh, that's good. So we can begin. Now the official one. 1, 2, 3, begin.
So Manu, you're welcome. In the meanwhile, I think now that you are many, those of us who are the last 2 lines from hapa kwa Eliza, kindly let's go to this side so that we can balance. Please, Jemo, just leave that seat there. You can sit this side. So that we can try strike a balance. So Manu, you're so much welcome. Yes.
Before we begin, since it's gonna be a very interactive session, since it's gonna be a very interactive session, please ensure that if you want to speak, just raise your hand. Microphone ikuje kwako, sawa? Sawa, because we are live streaming this, so if you speak without the microphone, hawatakusikia. Okay. Emmanuel. So, Emmanuel. Let's encourage him by rain claps, please. Rain claps. Rain, mvua, rain. Thank you. You're very welcome.
Amen. Dakika moja. So praise God. So as the moderators have pointed out, that this is going to be a very interactive session, and so if there is, I will actually engage you in the interaction. So, and I will ensure that every one of us is going to have something to say, and will have something to say by the end of this, isn't it? So let me do another intro about myself. I'm sorry, I've been handling a lot of things, so I'm trying to relax. So let me do the intro as I relax. My name is Emmanuel Mathari. I am a third year student at JKUAT. I'm doing IT, and I love God. And this is my church. This is my home. Pastor Mburu is my pastor, the one who is seated at the far end, the far left. And it's such a privilege and an honor to be standing in front of you guys, because I know that there is so much potential in each and every one of us who is here, and you'll never know where you're going to be in the next 5, 10, 20 years. And knowing that probably there's a probability that I might be speaking to the next CS for finance, because I hear there are a lot of people doing accounts here, great people in the various sectors in Kenya. It's such a privilege and an honor speaking to you. And yeah, so our topic for today is about, it's love there. And I've been thinking about this. The topic about love is such a broad, is such a wide, is such a, it's inexhaustible. Love, I think, is the core thing in society. I don't think there is any other thing in society, any other thing among us as in our generation right now, bigger than love. Unasikia, a lot of people do things because they love someone. A lot of people even kill because they love someone. Inaitwa murder of passion. It's called murder of passion. You love someone to a point, akikukasirisha, you just murder him. So I want us to slowly, bit by bit, decipher this big, ambiguous subject of love and break it down to a point that it's going to come to the understanding of each and every one of us, to a point where each and every one of us is going to have a take home, isn't it? So I'd like, first of all, we've said that this is a very interactive session. So I'd like, first of all, to... Is everything okay?
I'm the mic dispenser.
Okay. I'd first of all like to pose a question. What do you think is love? You see, there's normally, I don't know whether to call it a misconception, a misunderstanding, a misappropriation, that you talk about something too much that you forget what it is. Nani ashaikuwa ni hiyo feeling? You do something too much that you even forget the purpose ama the reason as to why you're doing what you're doing. So I'd like first of all to start there. What is love? What do you think is love?
Okay, love, I think it's a feeling of affection towards something or someone.
You've said something that is very, very important.
Mhm.
It is a feeling of... So I
Affection.
want to ask you a question. Is love a feeling in the first place? Yesterday there was a question that you asked. Is love an emotion?
Or
Is
a
love a
feeling?
feeling? Or is it a state?
I think it's a state.
No, you said a feeling.
I said a feeling. Okay, then it's a state.
It's a state. Why do you say it's a state?
Because I think when we speak of an emotion changes. It can be short term or long term, but a state.
Can
state
I ask you a
tends to-
question? Today you can love someone. Probably you won't love him or her tomorrow.
Okay, I get where you're going. Okay, then, but you see, you cannot underrule that we cannot define love, so you have to define it.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you to define it. What is love in your own definition?
It's a state of affection.
It's a state of affection. Is it a present continuous or is it a current state?
It's a present continuous.
It's a present continuous.
Yeah.
So you saying that it is a present continuous means that if you love someone today, it can be rest assured that you're going to love him or her tomorrow.
It's not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed. So it's not a present
so it's not-
continuous.
yeah.
So can you rephrase your definition?
Okay, so love is what was the other word apart from present continuous?
It's a current.
Okay, current. So love is a current state of affection towards something or someone.
Would I feel secure if you tell me that you love me currently, yet I can't be secure that you're going to love me tomorrow?
Okay. Then how can we put it that it changes from time to time? Those people who know English.
Give the microphone to... Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Let's give him one clap.
Okay, yes. I'm just trying. So I'll say is an unconditional affection towards someone or something.
It's an unconditional. Actually, there's something I'm missing out. Can you give me one moment? I bring my notebook. Dakika moja, because I want to be so good. Because by the way, I'm also learning. It's not that I know everything. I'm also learning. And she said something that I really resonate with. What have you said again?
I said love is an unconditional affection towards someone or something.
So you bring up the subject of love being unconditional.
Yes.
Can you love someone who is a murderer?
The Bible commands me to. Yes.
The Bible commands you. Okay, she's brought something so unique. Is there a differentiating factor of love? Is there different levels of love? I know there is, and I know you all know there is.
Sure.
So which kind of love does the Bible command us to love? Which,
Agape.
so she's bringing out something new. She's bringing about different kinds of love. And I'd like, first of all, to throw that question to everyone. We have the agape kind of love, and I'd like someone else to give us another kind of love.
We have failure. I guess it's that feeling.
The feeling. What are you calling it again?
Failure.
Failure.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the spelling, but I'm sure there's something like that.
Can anyone concur with what she's saying? Failure. Oh, yeah. The filial kind of love. Yeah. That's what you are taught, and nimesikia failure. So I was wondering. Phileo. So there's the agape kind of love, and I think that's the one that the Bible commands us that we should all love. We should all love humanity. Us being human beings, you should love your fellow human being, isn't it? But I'm talking about the filial kind of love. You've said that love is unconditional. So does it mean that you will have the filial kind of love unconditionally to someone who has certain vices, such as is a murderer, or is a psychopath, or is a narcissist?
The filio.
Yeah, the filial kind of love.
No, but probably can begin with the agape. You see. Okay, let me just define it in the Bible way, the scriptural way. So you see, this person is a murderer. We don't know why they are murderers. So as a believer, I think I need to love him first, so that probably I can get to understand his situation, and maybe even after sharing the word, this person can get born again. You see, so I think it's not good to just judge someone because of the stage they are in.
Okay, that's nice. But before we get to what she's saying, I want to ask a question related to what she was saying. Is love an emotion? Is love a feeling? Or is love a state of heart? What do you think?
I think it's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
Yeah.
Can you expound on that?
Mm-hmm. Leaders defined it as it is a unconditional feeling, right?
You're talking about unconditional feeling.
Feeling and affection.
Okay, right now, how are you feeling? Are you feeling happy?
Yeah.
Are you happy all the time?
No.
So does the word unconditional feeling stand right with you? If you say that today you can be happy and tomorrow you can wake up sad, can you legitimize the word unconditional feeling? Do you get what I'm saying? Because if you're saying that today you can be happy, tomorrow you can be sad, then that means that feelings are not unconditional. Because unconditional means that regardless of the current prevailing circumstance, you still have whatever you're saying.
For love, it is very unconditional.
For love,
because
it is
when
unconditional.
you choose to love, despite even the Bible.
Thank you very much. She's brought something so important and something that I want to bring home. Number one, we should all come to understand, because you're learning. Number one, love is a choice. Love is a choice. I think that is one of the very fundamental issues about love that a lot of people in our generation do not understand. That love is always a choice. And let me correct you. Vicky, Tebu, remind me her name. Sharon. Are you going? Are you leaving? Because this is interactivity. Ni kama kuchat na mtu na all of a sudden hata bila kuambia ametoka online. Huko hapo anakugrade tu. Number one, I would differ with you that love is not love does not start as unconditional, but love is a choice. Acha nikwambie kitu moja. There's a day, and I think our mentors and our coaches can agree with us, that it's not every day you feel like loving the one who you are with. It's not every day you feel like being with that person. Kuna siku ingine unaweza amka ushangae, sasa huyu tulipatana na yeye wapi? Na ni nini nilivuta hiyo siku? Mbona hiyo siku sikujiambia nisiseme edu? Why did they say edu? So, love is not a feeling. Love is a state of heart. The same way, okay, it's hard to talk about love and not talk about God, isn't it? Because love is so much intertwined with God and his relationship to us. And I'd like to bring about the relationship of him being a father, isn't it? And let me draw an illustration from the story of the Israelites. The Israelites, or God told Abraham, out of your womb shall proceed, will be generation as numerous as the stars. And he gave them so many promises. And I can imagine, in the mind of God, he was thinking so highly about this nation called Israel. Imagine a nation starting from one person whose wife was barren. So God was like, this nation is gonna be such a great nation. Like, I can't wait for the materialization or the actualization of this great nation. And it comes all the way to Isaac is born, Jacob is born, and Jacob has 12 children. And God says, you know what? These 12 children, when you umezaa wengi, their names are going to be the names of the tribes. And like, I can feel God was so happy about this whole thing. Because when you see, the wife of Abraham was barren. Rachel too was barren, isn't it? If I missed, isn't it? She was barren. And then marriage ya Jacob ilikuwa na mambo mengi. Imagine you love someone and then you work 7 years. Imagine working 7 years. Kwanza saizi we are in 2022. You work for 7 years. So utapata hata usi president mwenye atakuwa, you'll find the next president who's going to be after you mwenye tunaenda kuchagua. All that time you're working for just one lady, one woman. And then after that period of 7 years, unapata si yeye. And then again, you work for another 7 years for now the one whom you want to be with. And then after that, you get 12 children. You get 12 children, and they become the tribes. And then they go to Egypt. And in Egypt, you promise them that, yes, I know you've gone to Egypt, but I'm going to bring you back from Egypt. And God feels like these people want them to know how much I love them, how much unconditionally the length I can go for them. The Bible talks about that we cannot understand the depth, the width, the height. Yani, Paul anajaribu ku illustrate the love that God has for us. Anasema, the depth, depth bado. The width, width bado. And the height that God the Father loves us. Na bado. So after the wilderness, the children, God brings the Israelites in a very, very, very miraculous way out of Egypt. And all of a sudden, these people called the Israelites turn their hearts towards them. The Bible talks of an illustration whereby while aliwatoa Egypt, but their hearts were still in Egypt. Imagine the pain that God had. Imagine for 40 years, you're trying to show a people that, my guys, I am your heavenly Father, and I love you, and I want the best for you. Just listen to me. Just listen to me. And for 40 years, perpetually, they kept repeating the same mistakes. To a point, the second in command of the nation, anawachukua, anaenda anambia, hey, ni kama huyu Mungu alienda na Moses, acha sisi tujitengeneze miungu zetu. Imagine the pain that God had. So all this I'm trying to point out, if love was a feeling, then God angeachana na Israelites kitambo sana. And not only that, if love was a feeling, he could have left us as mankind kitambo sana. So, God had this state of heart called love towards the Israelites. And that is something that our generation never understands, that love is a choice that you make every day. Imagine, I think God had some stress waking up in the morning, knowing that he still had to choose these people. He still had to love these people as a choice. He still had to love Aaron. And this is the guy who has walked with Moses and has seen everything. Like probably God had, obviously it's factually not, but hypothetically speaking, God had exhausted all his arsenal kuonyesha how mighty he is. And this guy called Aaron Manzi, you just go create an, kwani ulikuwa unafikiria nini? And God still loves him. So love can never be called a feeling. And that is where the reason as to I'm spending some time here is because this is why this is some things that our generation don't understand. Because you might wake up today, you have you think that you love someone, and tomorrow you think that you don't, and you act on that feeling that you feel that you don't love that person, and you make a decision that is going to, as Pastor Mboro said yesterday, that you make choices but you don't have the power to choose the consequences. You make a series and a ripple of consequences that you can't avoid, ama that we can't just mitigate. It's just beyond us. So the first takeaway is that love is a state of heart, and it is a choice you make. So I wrote down and said that love is a choice, a conscious decision to be with someone and to choose them every day. To choose them every day. I believe even when you talk one on one with our coaches, someone who's been with someone for 25 years, I think if you've been with someone 25 years, you've seen all their sides. Umeona akiwa mzuri, umeona akiwa mbaya, umeona akiwa unlikable, umeona akiwa extreme likable, umeona akiwa mekubu. Like you've seen each and every facet of that person, but you choose that person each and every day for 25 years. And that is one mistake that our generation makes that I wouldn't like us here to make. So number two, how would you know that you love someone? And what will be the difference between love and infatuation? So I'd like first of all to start with that. What is infatuation? Infatuations. What is infatuation?
Okay, for me, I wanted to lead whatever the Bible says. It says that love is patient, love is kind, that it does not envy, it does not boast, it's not proud, it does not dishonor others, it's not self-seeking, it's not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth, always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Love never fails. That is 1 Corinthians 13:4-8. So if we are going to define love, we must first have a definition of what love is from the Bible. Then when we say we have love, then we have to look at it from the measure of the Bible. Then we can differentiate what is love and
infatuation.
all right.
Yeah, the chapter of love, but we'll get to that at a later point. Does anyone know the definition of the word infatuation?
I think when you talk about love and infatuation, I think one you have to understand love. You have talked about love, and there's something we call feeling
Mafilo.
of the first sight. Yeah.
So that is actually infatuation. For a definition, infatuations is unhinged feelings that are intense but short-lived. You get what I'm saying? Hizi ni uko na ma feelings nyingi kwa mtu that you think are real but are not real, and you will know they are not real because they'll die away with time. Like having a crush on someone. Do you know that majorly having a crush on someone is just infatuations? having a crush on some, because you might have a crush on someone and that person you've never seen him. I hear that people have crushes on American models. Sana shanga, like this guy, not only have you never met him, you'll never meet him. You'll probably never meet him, and he does not even know in his mind that you exist. Probably even he does not know your country, the name of, of your country, does not know that there's a country in Africa called Kenya, though Kenya is quite a popular country, but probably speaking. And so you say that you have a crush on him. Okay, it's hard to understand, but I want us to understand that infatuations are normally intense but short-lived, and you should never make a decision that will lead to something, to a long-term commitment or relationship based on infatuations. And so I'd like now to repose my first question: what would make you say that you love someone?
I can say I love someone when biblically there's what we know that love is. We say love is kind, love is protective, and everything that she has read. And from our believers, and if I say I love this person, there's what I really want in my life. Assuming that she's a male, and I say that I love her. Maybe I love that maybe will lead to either to marriage, or it can lead to marriage, or it may not lead to marriage. So there's what I have, that my own list, that I know that this is how I define love.
Like a checklist.
Yeah, a checklist.
Unakongo unapimisha kila mwanaume, unaandika the qualities hapa na mwanaume tick alafu hapa chini 20/25. Can you name for me some of the things in that checklist, if you may, if you mind, if you're comfortable?
Maybe I can say comparability.
Compatibility.
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 Yeah.
So compatibility brings the issue that there are some things that you like, and there are some things that you would like this person to fit into you, and probably say your weaknesses as ijazilia hapo.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I can do an illustration, a small illustration.
Exactly.
You can assist me hold this.
I like this. Mshikie.
Thank you. So one thing that I know, when I say about compatibility, understand that this is the person that I love and this is me. So the person, assuming that I love Joseph, these are his strengths.
Mm-hmm.
And these are his weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
I, Valentine, I have my own strengths,
Mm-hmm.
and I have my own weaknesses. So for me to say that I love you, one thing is I cannot change someone. But am I compatible to this person to say that I love him, such that his strengths cover my weaknesses, and my weaknesses, and his strengths cover my weaknesses, and my strengths cover his weakness. So itakuwa kitu kama hii. If I say I love him, itakuwa kama hivi. So that is the compatibility. I can say yes, I love you, but not to that extent. If I find that one of the major or one of the key things
is missing.
And am I able, one thing that is, kuna zile unaweza change na kuna zenye you cannot change. So the moment that I realize that, I can just simply tell you, yes, I love you, but not really enough to settle down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I like what she's brought out, but it's not exactly answering my question. But that's a question by there I like the coach's answer. But before that, she's talked about something that is very essential and something that I want to talk about. And let me kind of expand on it a bit. There's some things that in the decisions that lead towards marriage are called, and love, irreducible minimum. There are some things that he kama hana highest make.
Deal breakers.
I love that. Deal breakers. Sisi kwa IT na business we call it irreducible minimum na politics pia. So one example of Oh yeah. One of the major irreducible minimum is number one. If you're not saved, like where are you going? If that person is not saved, who are you going? So that is an example of an irreducible minimum. So I'd like to throw this onto you before you go to the coaches. What is an example of another irreducible minimum? Or what is an example of another deal breaker? Because these are things, most of us here probably at 22, 23, 24, these are things that you should be thinking about. Because one of the things that will lead for you not having a good marriage and a smooth marriage is if you have not premeditated and thought about these key issues. If you've not sat with yourself and thought about these key issues. And that's why by the grace of God, you have this forum here that you can think about it and that you can now start thinking about it and you can have this forum to brainstorm about it. So I want us to brainstorm about it. What is an example of an irreducible minimum? I've thrown on to the court, salvation. If you're not saved, there's nowhere you're going. What's an example of another one?
For me, you need to be educated. At least your reasoning should be higher than mine. Yes.
Kuna swali enye Sakaja aliulizwa kwa Nairobi. Oh, there's a question. I'm sorry. There's a question that Sakaja was asked at the Nairobi gubernatorial debate, and he was asked this: does having a degree really mean that you are competent enough to lead the people? You've said something. It does not. Then why? I'm not refusing with you, but I just want to jog your mind. Then why is having a degree not, as in, it doesn't mean necessarily that you have to lead the people. Yet now, when it comes to a decision to marriage, unasema, this guy has to have a degree, this guy has to have a master's. And do you know, for example, let me just brainstorm you a bit. Do you know someone like, okay, these are not nice examples to use, but let me just use them for the purpose of the subject of matter. Someone like Bill Gates created Microsoft without a college degree. He actually dropped out. Does that mean he was not smart? Someone like the CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, even though probably later on they went to pursue other degrees, and actually pastor himself here, he's pursued other degrees. He's like he's furthered his education after his marriage with Nabi, with his wife. So is having, said something, having a college degree, being educated.
A point of correction. I think I didn't say you need to have a degree.
You've said you need to be educated.
Yes.
It's intertwined.
Let me rephrase Emmanuel's question. He is asking, is your deal breaker education or intelligence? Because those are two different things. Education is a degree. Oh, sorry. He has 17 degrees. Yeah, 17.
10 degrees, 5 which are masters, 2 PhD. I don't know the other two.
Some in UK, some in the US.
Various
so do you
universities
mean that,
in the world.
or do you mean that this guy can actually sit down with an intellectual person and hold his own conversation?
Yes, intelligence. Let me correct myself.
Okay, I'm not sure whether it's the same as salvation, but religion. Like, okay.
Okay, expound on that. I really want to hear that. Expound on that.
Okay.
Do you mean he should not be Islam, Hindu, or Buddhist, but everything else is on the table?
But what does salvation mean?
She didn't say salvation. She said religion. Two different things.
Okay.
Religion is Buddhism, Jews, Hinduism, Sheikh, Sikh, Hindu, Judaism.
Is salvation only a thing for the Christians? Some of the other religions that have salvation?
I think Christianity is religion.
And what about, does Judaism have the salvation? It's you who knows Judaism.
We are asking for the definition of religion.
Okay, what she's asking is...
The religion is a belief system.
It's a belief
Simple,
system.
Yes, that
so
one prescribes to. the word religion means to bind fast. So whatever religion, bind fast. So whatever you're bound fast to, that you do on a ritualistic basis, that is your religion.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. That's also a religion.
It's a belief system that you practice repetitiously. And so when you think about, you say, the question was, is there salvation in other religions?
Yeah. For example, like Judaism. And Judaism, see, they worship God. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Probably
From
they
a,
might have their own salvation that is of the law. Probably that's why I'm asking you. Yeah, probably.
well, can I answer? You want to answer that? Anybody want to answer that one? I can answer that one. I mean, it's a simple answer. There is no other salvation other than in Jesus Christ. There is no other salvation in any other religion than in a personal relationship. See, Jesus is not so much a religion as it is a relationship. You understand what I mean? And so you can have religion, just like you said, salvation and religion are two different things. Some people come to church and they do it and they practice the religious act of coming to church, but they have no salvation. They're not born again, just religious practice. So there is no other salvation outside of a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, having confessed your sin and believed in him by faith.
Yeah, yeah. I
Thank
like
you.
that. He said that a religion is a belief system, and its definition is like binding fast to a certain things that you believe in. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. So, I like us. We've talked about the irreducible minimum. I want us also to talk about. She's talked about something when you intertwine, when you. I don't know whether using the word coupling up is a very compatibility. She said that if this is not there, then it means that there is nowhere you're going. But I also want to bring about the. Okay. Let her rephrase.
Maybe I can rephrase. Who can assist me?
Of Valentine.
Yeah, I'm Valentine.
Nice name.
What I mean, these are your weaknesses. These are your strengths, and these are your weaknesses. These are my strengths, and these are my weaknesses. If we come up, probably maybe we have the same weaknesses, and no one is willing to learn or to listen to the other person, we'll form something like this, and there'll be fights. We have not intertwined. But if this person is able to, each and every person knows their weaknesses and their strengths. So if this person, if I'm always late, will this person cover up their own time?
Yeah, I get what you're
If
saying.
I usually overspend, this person doesn't have to be an overspender. So he's going to cover, and I'm also going to cover. So we'll have something like this. If we intertwine this way, this one will be a perfect one. Reason
Thank you.
being, we all have weaknesses. I will not boost, neither will you boost. Reason being, we cover each other. But if we be like this, we will always make fights.
I want to ask you a question. Just give me a yes and a no so that I can go to what I'm talking about. Is there a perfect relationship?
Can you allow me to give a small explanation?
Yeah, you may. Yeah, you may. Yeah, you may.
Very small.
Yeah.
There's no perfect relationship, but we should strive like Paul did. We usually make a choice.
To make it to that level, to grow
We
it
know
to
that
that
it
level.
is your responsibility, it is my responsibility. It is our own choice, and it is our own responsibility to make it perfect.
So I want to ask you another question. So there might be that when you have a weakness, which is also his weakness, does that mean that that will be a deal breaker for you?
No, but I usually
No, just hold it there. Just hold it there. Just hold it there. So you're bringing the place of compromise. And I
Yes.
think that is a very important subject to talk about when you talk about love and relationship. Because I think and I believe, I stand to be corrected, but I believe that there has to be a place of compromise in relationships and love. Because not everyone is perfect. We are trying to grow towards perfection, but not everyone is perfect. But I believe. Yeah, okay. No, you. Sasa ina shida.
She said that you have to yet you have to enter each other like this.
It's called compatibility.
I am using very small, light words for understandability.
Yeah,
That is
it's
a word.
okay.
So now my question is, because you started by saying love can lead to marriage, love can blah, 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 love can who. And he said that we're all about the age where we are entering into the next step of
The thought flow, the thought process.
yeah,
of
we're
it.
headed there. So whatever we're discussing is headed there. So if you're talking about compatibility, tell me, how do you know you're compatible with this person if you will not have lived with them in one house? You know, because you might be a perfectionist, 100% perfectionist. You want your cups on this side, you want your plates on this side, you want the toilet seat down, you want the toothpaste to be
pressed from below.
from him, he presses from anywhere. So there are things you
popote
will only
patitatoka.
know. There are things you will only know if you live with this person. So how do you know you're compatible with this person if you have not? Unajua, people can fake. You can go on dates and he will twirl around with a fork, you know, but in the house he is like a this, you know, and maybe that is a deal breaker for you. So how do you know you're compatible before you get there?
Okay, one thing that I can say is that you cannot fake forever. Assuming that today I tell you a lie, for me to keep that lie, I'll have to pile up another lie.
But they're smart liars.
Let me tell you, one thing that I also believe is I'm a child of God. And if I'm a believer, I'm sure that whatever that I pray to God, He will reveal to me. And maybe directly or also not indirectly. About compatibility, many are the times we tend to go and look for the big things that can break it. But those are just like minor things. Assuming that you cannot, like, if someone is a narcissist, does this person accept correction? If I correct you, how are you going to take it? So maybe we can, if this is something serious that is going to lead to marriage, meaning that we'll have to meet severally, to meet even at different venues, at different environments. So you're just observing the person. And also someone said that if I know that you are observing me, I will fake it. So some of those things you notice when you don't reveal, okay, like that checklist that I've told you, I don't have to tell you that this is my checklist, no. Okay, me, that is what I do. Yeah, you don't, because if I tell you, assuming that I don't like this, you're going to fake to which that one. So I have my own checklist. So mimi ndo nitakuwa na tick, I'll be the one person ticking.
Yeah.
And there's also a place of compromise. We know that we have different graces. And I'll know that, I'll be able to know that, can I compromise this? Do I have the heart for this? Am I able to cope this till death? Till the end.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You've brought about, and by the way, we are learning. So these are things I expect each of us to be noting somewhere, to be noting, because they're really going to help us in the build-up and in the preemption of decisions towards marriage. She's talked about something very important, that when it comes to compromise, we are not perfect, but number one, we need to be willing to grow. Hiyo ni ukweli, si ndio? And number two, we need to be able to stand correction. If you get a person who cannot stand when he's corrected, know that that is a very major red flag, I believe. And number three, take away, before I throw the three of these questions to the coaches, there is the core principles. Like, kuna zile vitu each and every one of us is supposed to have. Actually, me, let me differentiate with what you said a little bit. Lydia, you said that first initially you said that this guy has to be educated, and then you said that he has to be intelligent, isn't it? Personally, I think for me, she has to be educated. You see, every one of us is different, but I really feel that you need to go through the troubles I've gone through, because I believe that education and university life is a space that will actually make you and reveal your true you, and will, if you've passed through that, then you can pass through anything else. So for me, having a college degree is like an irreducible minimum. That's for me. It doesn't have to be the same for everyone, but that's for me. So that's my irreducible minimum. Because lazima uteseke okay.
Translate. I can translate for you.
So, and again, there's the place of compromise. So these are the questions I want to throw to the coaches, just for 1 minute, because we have a long way to go. I asked something that even is a trouble for me myself. How will you know that indeed you love someone? How will you know that indeed you love someone? And how will you know now you can start something serious with this person whom you love? Because we've talked about infatuations, we've talked about people hiding. We've talked about how people are not true. So how will you know if you truly love someone?
When we talk about love, I think love begins with attraction. Away from those degrees and those we want. Away from those things. What's attracting you to this person? Because there has to be attraction. It's not that you've gone to a parade where these are the people who have done this, so you are supposed to choose from that. It has to be attraction. So the first thing is, what is attracting you to this person? The way they talk, the way they behave, the way they are. You remember what Coach Joseph asked Coach Tony this morning? They were both, the way he started, let me go where he was. Where he started, they are both military officers, and the wife was senior, but he was attracted to her. So he said, I went for her. So there has to be attraction. That's I guess that's the beginning. Attraction.
Okay, let me ask you. No, let me ask you. What attracted you to Mr. Kabosha?
Many things.
No, you can. Many things.
I don't have to tell you many things. Like, for example, let me give you an example. We were making fun much later after we had stayed. So he was asking me.
Compati.
He was asking me, I would see you many times, you are looking where I am. And true, it's true. I'm looking at him and I want to hear him. Yes, you are getting attracted. There are things in him that were attracting me. So the question is, what attracts you to this person? There has to be some attraction. Before we start checking, by the way, all these people can tell you. The married people around here can tell you. You don't even ask someone where they come from. We come to discover later, some of them are coming from places where even going there is a problem. Even their family, we come to know them later. So those things come much later. The question is, what attracts you to this person?
Am I allowed to
counteract? No.
I'm not.
We have limited time. We're working in a grace period now.
Okay, then let me go to these other things. I think I'll throw the ball to the coaches mara moja tu. Yeah. So the next thing, and time is limited, kuna vitu that are called the key anchors of love and the qualities of love. And these are things that we need to know them at our fingertips. And it's a Bible verse she read, and it's 1 Corinthians chapter 13. If I talk in terms of men and not of love, I'm only a clanging clown ball. I like that statement. I'm only a clanging clown ball. So it outlines a list of qualities. It outlines a list of things that is love. that is love. And it was about love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, love does not boast, love does not. So those are things. Number one, I wanted to say this, that for us to love, first of all, we need to love ourselves. You get what I'm saying? For us to love, and this is a very big takeaway. For us to love, we need to love ourselves. Let me ask you a question. You give me a list of, quickly, mpe mic. You have 3 seconds, like 1, 2, 3, to name 3 people you love. Start.
My mom, my dad, my sister.
Exactly, thank you. Why haven't you mentioned yourself in that list? Your mom, your dad, your sis. Why haven't you mentioned yourself? Yourself. Yenny, you love other people more than you love yourself. Like, it should be me, my mom, my dad. So that means that for us to love, okay, you cannot give some, this is something that Pastor Grace says a lot. You cannot give something that you do not have. That you do not have. And this comes to the point, you love someone because you are attracted to him or her, isn't it? And this is another big takeaway. Because you see that he has qualities, or she has qualities that are attractive to you, isn't it? The same way, someone else is going to be attracted to you. So this, and I want you to really think about this. For you to love, first of all, you need to love yourself, and you need to work on yourself. You need to work on yourself. You need to work on the qualities. You need to really define who you are and what makes you you. What makes you unique. And you need to really work on yourself, because it is through you working on yourself that you're going to find someone else who's also working on themselves, and you're like going to find your energies synchronizing and vibing with each other, because you understand the hardships he or she is going through. You understand, because you can relate. You can relate. So for you to love, first of all, you need to love yourself. And for you to love yourself, you need to work on yourself. Make yourself, and knocking yourself, I'm talking about, I think it's normally 4. Number 1, it is the spiritual aspect of it. You need to work on your spiritual life. Number 2, you need to act on your intellectual capacity. Don't be comfortable. And right now, we are at the preliminaries years of your life. Probably most of us are below 27 happen. We have such a big space for growth, and it's intellectual growth. And this is something that I'll draw a lot from our pastor, because he's the one I know. He's worked on himself in the course of time. Don't be comfortable with where you are right now, because I feel like being young, you have a very big opportunity to grow yourself. And it is you growing yourself that makes you kind of more beautiful, especially if you're a sapio. You find that the more you know and the more you can handle various issues in society, and the way you carry yourself, the more you're going to be attracted to that person. Number 3, you need to grow your physical body. You need to make sure that you take care of your body. You need to work out. You need to make sure that you're fit. If you're a lady, you need to make sure that usijiachanishe tu hivyo tu. Usijiachanishe tu hivyo tu. Make sure that you groom yourself properly. Make sure you look good. And make sure when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can tell you that, Enye Manu, today Enye, you look good. Today I looked myself in the mirror and kajambia, even though niliharakisha, but I make sure I do that every day. When I'm going to somewhere important, I look myself in the mirror and I tell myself, Yo Manu, you look good. And kabla nitoke kwa nyumba na nimejaribu nguo nyingi sana. Because I want to be presentable. And the 4th thing I don't want to forget about it is your financial growth. Make sure that you're not just sitting there idling around. Make sure that you're doing something, you're trying to do something that is going to give you something, isn't it? Yeah, so quickly as we proceed, you need to work on your career. You need to work on your career. And, okay, I won't go there. But you need to know, when it comes to career, there are 4 things that encompasses you. There is the mission that you do. There is the vocation that you do. The vocation is what gives you money. The mission is what you are giving towards community. There is the passion. the passion is in lies with your skill, what you really love to do. And the fourth one is you are now your career, what you chenye umesomea kufanya. So there is the career, there is the mission, there is the vocation. Vocation is what actually gives you money, because something may be giving you money, but sio chenye umesomea, it's not what you've read, and it's true. And yeah. So I'll like, first of all, quickly talk about, my time is very limited, to talk about love and sex. And I just want to quickly pass through here. Number one, the biggest red flag you can have in a relationship is if a man a lady wants to have sex with you quickly, as in fast enough. Because let me tell you something about us men. I think it's also Pastor Moore has ever said this. For us, sex is never emotional. Sex is never. Is it true? Is it true? Like, sex for us it's like a service. It's you need it. Okay, Pastor Mborio say this. So if I'm wrong, I am quoting you. But for a lady, sex is more emotional in nature. Like, you won't have sex with someone if you don't love him. But for men, it's not like that. That's why men, we are naturally predators. Like, we will hunt you down.
This is what I said, and I believe the coaches here, the men, not the ladies, will agree with me. A man can have sex with a woman, but it's not because he loves the woman. So sex to a man, it's not so much an indication of love. Are we together? And we see it with Jacob. Jacob seared 7 sons with Leah. And it's very interesting that the first 4 children, she was seeking attention. All those names. One, Reuben, means hear me. So Jacob was having sex to see children with a woman he did not have time to listen to. Simon means look at me. Oh, can you imagine? You can have a sex with a woman you are not looking. Are you getting me? Until the fourth-born Judah, when he was trying to get attention from this man and love and passion he could get, he called the fourth-born Judah, which means Jehovah be praised. So he removed the attention for the woman, from the man, and he gave it to Yahweh. Are we together? So we have to understand, and the reason we are saying that, I believe what we are trying to say, because most of the times with the young people or with men, they'll tell you, if you say you love me, then it ends in sex. If he's not born again or he doesn't fear God, that you will prove you love him as a man by sleeping with him. And you find many. What was this man, the son of David, that raped the sister?
Absalom.
Not Absalom. He was Amnon. And the Bible says, after Amnon slept with Tamar, I think she was called Tamar, he hated her. Are you getting me? He hated her. And this lady was saying, please now, because you have broken my virginity and in the community I cannot go, then go to her father, in their culture it was allowed, and marry me. But he hated. And that's why we find many men, because there's no love, after he has slept with the woman or with the girl, he will move on and leave you. So I think I wanted to clarify that so that there's no distortion. Yes.
Going back to the question, how do you know when someone loves me? It goes back to defining what love is. Each one of you've read from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, right? That is the practical application of love. It is actually what it does. There is a being of love and there is a doing of love. You get that? The being of love is connected to God himself. And so you cannot do love if you do not have the be of love. 1 John 4:8, the summary of that is, he that hath not God hath not love. But he that has God has love, for God is love. God is the very definition of love. And so we have to get the being right in order to do. So when a boy or a man comes to you and he says, I love you, have sex with me. I mean, and you just melt in his arms. He said he loved me. But then you have to ask the question, do you God me? Because see, God is the definition of love. So then you have to, that individual has to answer the question, and you have to answer the question, what is God like? And is he presenting to me a God-like love? Because God is love. He's the very definition of love. So now I'm going to ask you a question. This is for everybody. What is God like? I'll give you the first one. God is holy. So when a man tells you he loves you and he wants to have sex with you, is he holy? You see? What is God like? And I'll spread that around. You tell me.
Yes. I want to stretch that truth a bit of what you're saying. You're asking if this man, because God is holy, he says he loves me and he wants to have sex with me. Are you getting me? Sex is good. It was created by God. But it has to be done within some certain perimeters and boundaries. Are you getting me? So if this man is godly because he loves God, he will respect the boundaries that God has kept under which sex should be performed.
Very true. And our time is up. And I'd like to echo out what he said again. A very key question to ask yourself. What is God like? Yeah. So I want you to end that. But before I end, I want to just quickly, because I took time to prepare this, I just want to point out various things so that you can think about them in your decisions towards that. Ask yourself, as a topic you need to have with yourself is the relationship between love and money. What is your deal breaker? First of all, if you're a woman, you need to ask yourself, are you comfortable in marrying someone who, number one, is not working? Number two, if you're earning more than the guy, are you comfortable to be with him and to subject unto his God-given authority? The other thing, you need to understand that love is like a flower. You need to work on it. And the reason as to I brought this out is a lot of people, especially if you are married young and especially in our generation, there is rampant cases of divorce. And like, I was asking myself, why is that? Why is that the case? Because many people don't understand that love ni kama mtoto. Like, you need to nurture it. You need to tend to it. You need to water it. So, what am I trying to say? Look for things that will cultivate your love. Look for things that you can do together that will develop your love, that will take your love to the next thing. And number 3, love is a two-way thing. You need to work on it as he or she needs to work on it. The other thing is, I've talked about money and love. One very key thing about this, you need to be open and transparent. And don't live outside your means to impress him or her. Yeah, and lastly, you need to ask yourself, are you willing to love, are you willing to date someone who does not have a job. That is something very important. And if he does not have a job, will you willingly and fully support him? Will you fully and willingly support him? And what happens if one of you lose your jobs, your money, whatever brings money to you? And another thing that you need to ask yourself, a very key question: can you love someone? Though she's kind of answered it. Can you love someone if you're not physically attracted to him, but you're emotionally and intellectually attracted to him? Or can you love someone if you are physically and emotionally attracted to him, but the four areas that I talked about, like what is your deal breaker? What is if he's not compatible in you in one of those things, it's a no for you. And the last thing you need to know, the red flags when it comes to love. And the last thing you need to understand is age an important subject to you when it comes to relationship? Like, if you're a lady, are you comfortable in being with a guy who is older than you? Actually, that was that was the one. Are you comfortable with being a guy who is younger than you? And if you're comfortable with it, what is the age difference? What is the difference in age that you're comfortable with? And is it okay also for him? And the last thing is, talk about your emotional maturity and your physical maturity. Number one, you need to be with someone who is emotionally intelligent. So with that has been my time. And I really pray that you've had major takeaways from this. And I pray that you can have a nice love life. Thank you. May God bless you all.
Thank you. Kindly let us give him rain claps. Rain claps, rain claps, rain claps. For coaches who are not there, this is rain claps. Okay, our time is very much spent, but I really, really enjoyed that session. I hope you all did. Show of hands, how many enjoyed that session? How many wanted it to continue? It shouldn't end there. Yeah. I feel like we should do this at our coaches. Tumenyonga sana. Admin, assistant admin, yeah. Yeah. Tell the management we need to have this session again, okay? Yes. We want to quickly go to the next session. And I fear that this is going to be more interesting than the one that was there before. So help me welcome Grace, who is leading us into the next session of body image and the correlation to self-esteem. Kindly let us give